Hey guys, this is Lala Legacy and welcome back to another episode of 1000 Lies. So before we jump in, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button because that would mean the whole world to me, and afterwards, if you like this video, hit that like button too. Alright, let's get in. As if I'd suddenly activated a voice-operated switch, I noticed a red sparkle gleam in the eyes of that huge man before he shoots at me. Is he a robot from the future that wants to kill me or what? How does he always manage to appear at the worst of times? Deniz and I lay down some tables as a barrier, and together we take cover behind them. This way, we could buy some time as we discuss our plan, ignoring the sound of the projectiles hitting against the tables. A little bit too old to be a grade schooler, don't you think? This is your fault! Why did you let someone like him sign up? It's a pretty convincing costume if you don't pay too much attention. He has a recorder and everything. That makes him stand out even more. Why would anyone bring a recorder to a survival game? The minigun's engine stops rotating, and the terrible noise it made is silenced. Deniz and I look at each other puzzled. Without saying another word, we try to take a peek over the wooden blockade. Our enemy pulls one of his hands up to his pocket and pulls out a round object with two of his fingers, throwing it in the air before hitting it with his recorder like a home run. Whatever it is falls next to us. Oh, I see. He wanted it to bat grenades. That's funny. Son of a... Somehow we managed to leap away in time and take cover before the grenade explodes. The precarious state of the classroom played in our favor. There are a lot of places for us to hide. In that moment, taking advantage of the time it takes for him to start shooting again, my teammate and I nod to each other, convinced that we won't have another chance like this we counterattack. We run out from our hiding place, ready our weapons, and then start an all-out assault against a target that we couldn't possibly miss. We stop our fire soon afterward. We're now confident of our victory, but once the smoke clears up... Does he have a health bar? The minigun's barrels start rotating once again, forecasting another burst of projectiles. And if that wasn't enough, when I try to pull the trigger of my submachine gun, it makes a clicking sound. I'm out of ammo. This is the type of moment where I usually wouldn't be able to do anything. Every idea collapses inside my mind and I can't think clearly under this much pressure. But not this time. I'm able to look around me calmly, check who's close, and analyze the situation as it is in the present moment. My mind should be immersed in chaos right now, yet I'm having a lucid moment like no other I've had in the past 7 years. I have to grasp this opportunity. Level 3. That's all I need to say to cause Deniz to nod in agreement. We jump out from different directions, crawling along the ground and behind furniture. We manage to stay alive, so we turn to confront the Baldy. The two of us have both played enough of that first-person shooter from the arcade to know what I meant by level 3. No matter how strong or intimidating your enemy is, they can only shoot at one target at a time. Since Deniz is the only one of us with ammo, it's his job to offer cover fire so that I can move about freely. Meeting my own expectations, I managed to locate the flaming doodle I wanted to see in one of the desks. I may not be the king anymore, but my talent hasn't been lost. Get ready! I run towards the desk and jump on top of it, steering it directly in the stocky Baldy's direction. This strategy would be totally impossible on a normal desk, but that isn't the case with this one. I sought out Aussie's desk specifically, knowing it would be modified. Don't underestimate the power of a sled desk! I charge straight into the giant before he has a chance to react. His body collapses on top of a mountain of desks and chairs that he tossed around the room when he first entered. But that isn't all there is to my plan. I know that I'll need something else to put a stop to him. I'll have to steal one of the grenades located near his waist. Thanks to my exceptional sleight of hand, seasoned from my many years of cheating in poker games, I managed to snatch one of the grenades from his belt. I turn around and head in Deniz's direction, trying to ignore the extreme pain I feel in my right leg. The grenade flies across the room and over my head until it finally falls directly on the Baldy's chest. There's shrapnel everywhere. A hit like that had to be lethal to any human being. But I know that our opponent this time is far stronger than any other human I've met. Amazing, leader, but I'm afraid that we'll have to do something else if we want to get out of this alive. The wrecked body of the Baldy starts to raise itself and moan in anguish, disoriented as if he had just awoken from a very long dream. We don't have much time left. How much ammo do you have? I've got less than 10 shots left. It's not enough to finish the job, I'm afraid. Then I'll have to repeat the desk trick again. It's too dangerous to get close to him now, and if he catches us, our best chance is to end this in one shot. My desk should also still be modified, if we can find it. Deniz chuckles and strokes his chin while he interrupts me. I'm pleased to see you so determined, Sierra. I ignore Deniz. I'm more focused on finding the desk with tacks on its legs. Your desk is that one. I noticed it earlier when I tried to distract the big guy. If you want to climb on it, I could push you. It's not like you're in the best condition to do it by yourself, am I right? I know that he's talking about my leg, but I opt not to say anything. I go over to the desk and ensure that it's mine. I'm gonna get on it, but wait until the Baldy stands up. I'll need a good push. You know, sometimes I wonder if Pygmalion truly got what he wished for. I don't understand why Deniz suddenly brought that reference up. I look at him puzzled. I remember that Pygmalion was the protagonist of the myth that he mentioned during one of the committee meetings. A man creates a statue, falls in love with it, and then it comes to life as he wished. It's not like magic or gods actually exist. If that story had really happened, it'd be easier to believe that it was thanks to the king's situation that he managed to make his dream come true. He probably had an entire court and nation under his control. It'd be fairly simple for him to find someone that looks similar to the statue and accept her as his lover, right? But the story that present generations recall is the one where where love creates a miracle, a happy ending without lies, no matter how well-meaning they might have been. After all, he will forever be remembered as a romantic. That fact only confirms that his subjects probably loved him a lot, since they remembered him in such a pleasant way. That's why I want to believe there truly was a happy ending, and that it wasn't all a white lie. If there exist bad moments to start reflecting on irrelevant stories, it's pretty obvious that Deniz picked the very worst of them all. He smiles at me in a way that I don't know how to respond to. Meanwhile, the huge beast that I could barely knock down earlier finally rises up once again. His glasses fog up from his angry and heavy breathing, but the lack of clarity in his vision doesn't seem to affect him too much since he tracks us solely using his ears. He brings one of his hands to his waist and with his thick fingers grabs all of the grenades he has left. Oh God, removing all their cords at the same time using his mouth. I scream something nonsensical as I try to warn Deniz that we must get out of the way. He, however, doesn't seem perturbed. Maybe his reaction is appropriate. After all, whether or not we try to hide doesn't matter. Shrapnel will fly in every possible direction and there isn't enough time for us to escape through the exit. Unless... It was fun, even though our plan didn't really work out in the end. I couldn't ask him to run. I could ask him to run. Ask him why he's still standing there. I could ask all kinds of things, but I can't find the words for any of them. My time is up, Sierra. It's not something to regret. After all, I'm not the one you have to prove yourself to. Deniz touches the desk with both of his hands and pushes it with all of his might. This wasn't the original plan, but it wouldn't make sense to follow it now anyway. Instead, I'm sliding toward the exit. Deniz watches me fly away with his usual lazy gaze. I can see the several grenades that the Baldy had thrown in his desperate attack fly over Deniz's head. My partner, meanwhile, waves goodbye to me with one arm, and with the other, he stretches it out as he did back at the arcade, aiming his gun at one of the grenades hovering over his head. "Try to win, okay?" And with those last words, Deniz shoots. Distracted, I crash into the hallway handrail, causing me to fall off the desk thanks to the momentum. I lose sight of my classroom during my fall, and the noise from the explosion leaves me deaf for the next couple of ensuing seconds. In an automatic survival reflex maneuver, I managed to grab hold of the handrail of the lower floor. As scared as I am, I managed to climb up over it and drop to the floor below me. I could feel my heart beating so quickly that it feels like it may pop out of my chest. My mouth feels dry and I'm having difficulty breathing. My legs, especially my right leg, hurts to the point where it feels like they could explode any time. "Are you stupid? You want me to win? I don't even know what the damn prize is." Well, that was eventful. I opened my eyes. I took a quick nap. Now I feel a bit better. At least 10 minutes must have passed since my rather dramatic fall from the upper floor. It wasn't too long ago that Ziva announced the second round of eliminated teams through the PA system. That means that I only need to survive one more round to win this game. The problem is that I don't have much time left. I have to score at least one kill soon if I don't want to be eliminated. After all the work we've put in, I'd hate to hear our team's stupid name being announced. Now I have no ammunition or teammates left. With the state I'm in right now, what's the best strategy for me to follow? The school is deserted, not a single soul around. I managed to climb down to the first floor without meeting any resistance. It's normal for there not to be many players left now. Chances are, those who have already managed to fill their kill quota now lay in hiding, waiting for their timer to run out. However, this situation is abnormal. I would have expected to at least find one or two teams barricaded somewhere in here. It's as if they've all disappeared into thin air for some reason. "Hello? Anybody here?" It's stupid of me, but I call out loudly. Even if someone hears me, I doubt they'll greet me or reveal themselves. Ugh! Someone assaults me from behind with the butt of their rifle, then disarms me by throwing my submachine to the floor and forces me against a nearby door with a kick. The cold barrel of a rifle is against my forehead. On the other end of the firearm, there's a feminine figure whose distinct laughter echoes throughout the lobby. "I can't believe it's you, Sierre. What were you thinking, giving your position away like that?" Even though she looks happy to see me, Lucy asks me to raise my hands and forbids me from making any false moves. "I couldn't wait any longer to see you, Lucy. Please understand." "Oh, were you so desperate that you had to offer your life to me? I'm sorry, but the gentleman's role doesn't suit you." "Are you sure? What if I told you that this was part of my plan?" "Now, Aussie!" Of course, Aussie won't show up. Lucy doesn't even react. My plan is to distract her, but all I manage to do is force her to push her rifle against my forehead with even more force. That's going to leave a mark. Who in their right mind would announce an ambush? Do you think I was born yesterday? It always works in the movies. Do you always have to make a fool of yourself when we're together, or what? Although, after all this time without seeing each other, I was expecting something even worse from you. Better. People usually expect better from others, lady. I'm a realist when it comes to you. And here's another fun fact. I'm going to shoot you right now. You don't have any teammates hiding around here, so you're useless as a hostage. Lucy keeps bumping the rifle's barrel against my forehead, forcing me to push myself even closer to the door behind me, to the point that the doorknob is digging into my side. I have to buy myself some time. I try to come up with a plan as quickly as I possibly can. Wait, you can't know that for sure. What if they're fighting your team right now? Can you afford to risk that? That's impossible. Did someone wipe your team out, or did someone wipe out your team already? Yeah, I did it myself. I put bullets in both of their backs as soon as the first round started. Are you crazy? It's not my fault. It was because of the game's format. Ziva made it that way so it destroyed teams from the inside. What are you saying? Haven't you realized it yet? They only gave us 2 weapons for teams of 3. They gave us almost no ammo. The rules say that your team needs to kill one per round to survive the game, but doesn't specify which kind of kill. There are 3 rounds with several teams of 3, so everyone was worried that their own teammates would betray them after the first round, especially when the winners give points to their respective school, but these teams can include students from both schools at the same time. Not to mention that the big prize is exclusive to only one winner. So individual points are more important than the team points if you want to win that prize. Killing your team also helps to wipe out the competition for it. Can't you see? This game is evil. Ziva has tried to provoke us since the very beginning. I had to finish my own team off before they could do the same to me later. That explains why everything's so weird. Now I understand why we saw players from the same teams fighting amongst themselves. Us guys don't fall for that kind of trickery anyways. It's totally a woman's thing, what with your evil thoughts. Save your taunting. You won't distract me with your sexism, especially not after everything I've seen here today. It's all thanks to those teams betraying each other that I've managed to clean this floor off. You should have seen how they all tried to run away and go up the stairs. My second attempt to distract her fails. Everyone always falls for sexism, and now the worst part is that I suspect that this woman is some kind of insane psychopath. My back hurts more and more due to the doorknob digging into my back. Then I realize that there's something weird about it, so I try to turn it stealthily while I keep trying to make Lucy continue talking. That explains why the 4th floor was basically hell. You seriously are the alpha and omega of problems, Lucy. I'll take that as a compliment. Now, if you'll allow me... Wait a second, just one last thing. What is that damned prize that everyone keeps talking about? Why is everyone so freaking obsessed with it? Your attempts to buy time are getting worse, Sierra. As if there's anyone who doesn't know about it. But I'm serious. Farewell. Lucy pulls the trigger, but I manage to avoid the bullet in time. I fall down. It's only thanks to the fact that she was aiming at my forehead that she missed me by a hair, literally. Now you know, kids, if you're going to shoot someone, always aim for the heart. That way, there's less margin for error. Shooting people is bad, so don't follow Sierran's advice under any circumstance. I use my weight to my advantage in turning the doorknob as I fall. I manage to open the door behind me and roll inside the room as soon as I hit the floor. Inside, it's totally pitch black, causing Lucy to miss another shot due to the surprise that this turn of events creates. To be fair, this room is always locked, so I'm really lucky that I managed to get the door open. Before Lucy finds the light switch, I manage to conceal myself behind one of the many rows of seats in the large room, making it almost impossible for her to find me. We're in the auditorium. Not bad, Sierra. It would have been a pity if the hunt had ended too soon. But you're just delaying your demise. Look around you and you'll know what I mean. You're unarmed, and there are only a few minutes left until this round is over. I bet that you haven't even gotten a single kill yet, or else you wouldn't have announced your position like that earlier. I'm not in a rush. I don't have to come out of any hiding spot, and from my position, I control all the exits this room has. There's no blind spot once you raise your head. Lucy walks up the stairs and onto the stage. She places her long sniper rifle on the edge of the stage and lays down, her right eye peering through the scope. Now she could cover the entire room. There isn't a single area that's out of her sight. Her facial expression and how she happily swings her legs back and forth reflect her privilege. Since that basketball game, I've always wanted to settle our score, you know. The result of that match never satisfied me, and nothing we did after that really had a clear winner. During poker in the arcade games, there were more players, so it wasn't really fair. Even if we take those into consideration, we would still be tied. So, this game is the real deciding factor, our true final battle. May the best one win, but that person, of course, is me. I sigh as I sit in a small space between two rows of seats. She's completely right. My situation is desperate in every possible aspect. Except for one small detail that she doesn't know about. An ace up my sleeve that I managed to snatch during the first round. I've had it reserved for an emergency such as this. Of the two guns we were given, Deniz took one and I took the other. A small handgun that, even if it was real, it would still likely be mistaken for a toy. It isn't just that it's short-ranged and has lack of utility. It also only has one bullet. One single bullet left. I can't afford to miss the shot. There was little I could do with a gun like this before. Now, at this distance and against a sniper, my chance of victory is negligible, if not entirely impossible. There's no other way, huh? Lucy is humming softly, pleased to have the situation under her control. Her eyes alternate between the two sides of the room, especially the doors leading to the hallways that I'd inevitably have to take if I want to fight or run. From the corner of her eye, she detects some sort of movement and shoots it down by following her instincts and using pure talent, without even knowing what it actually was. Did I hit it? As soon as she's done shooting, she senses something moving in the opposite direction. But by the time she's done reloading, it's already too late. A bit afterward, another small object appears between some of the seats, this time a few rows in front of where it happened last time. She shoots at it with crushing reflex and skill. It doesn't matter if she only saw it for a second, she manages to notice what it was this time. Was that a shoe? Taking advantage of her gun being a bolt-action rifle, I know I only have a few seconds between each shot, giving me that much time to move freely while she reloads. Knowing her personality, she always acts before thinking first. So I used my shoes as bait to make her waste a couple of bullets while I tried to reduce the distance between us. It's like an extreme version of the red light, green light. Unfortunately, I knew I wouldn't have too many more chances to trick her once she realized what I was doing. Did you just throw your shirt too? It's not the first time I've seen you half naked, but you could at least try to be a little romantic about it. What would your mother think if she found out how easily you take your clothes off in front of others? I'm going all in. I know that the risk is over the top, but it's all I could do to distract her. Take this as a special favor to you, and don't complain about how I treat you later. I would never do that, Sierra. Now, for example, you gave away your position by speaking. How could I complain? Although I can't see her, I could feel the pressure of her scope set on me. I hold my breath. This is probably the most dangerous bet I've made in years, if not ever. I have to bet all my chips on this single game. My chances of success are below 10%, and that's being generous. It's now or never. Something moves in Lucy's scope. It jumps up and removes itself from her vision. But she doesn't shoot. Her fingers move into position, but doesn't pull the trigger. She knew it wasn't me. Now she's waiting for the moment that I come up. But I don't move. I stay in place, immobile, awaiting my opportunity. The reason I spoke earlier was to hide the noises I was making. By making her talk as well, I was able to discern her current position. Several seconds later, the latest flying object I'd thrown falls where I'd hoped it would. What is this? These are your pants! It goes even better than expected. My pants fall in front of Lucy's face, temporarily blinding her. Scared from that revelation, she jumps back and stands up, then runs several feet back as she tries to shove my pants away from her as if they're cursed. She, of course, forgets to pick up her rifle. She blushes and complains as I take the opportunity to jump on stage and aim at her. And no, I won't make a dirty joke about pistols while I'm only in my underwear. I'm not that uncouth. Where did you get that gun? And why did you throw your pants in my face? Are you crazy? They're just pants, not a weapon of mass destruction. Well, if it were Aussie's pants, then maybe. Those must be disgusting, but not mine, lady. The stage is big enough that it makes any escape attempts impossible without giving me time to shoot her down first. Behind her, there are only cardboard sets of different scenery. They were used for the plays that some of the drama classes enacted. She has no way to flee, but there's still some distance between us, considering what my weapon is, and that I only have one bullet to shoot with. I try to close the distance between us. Don't even try it. That's not the issue here. Well, not the biggest issue at least. Well, it is, but not the one I meant. What I meant was that you can't just go throwing your pants at a girl like that. Are you a stripper or something? Try to have more consideration. Who cares? We've done worse things in the past. You made things 1,000 times worse. But that was before, not now. You could at least think a bit about what you're doing at this point. At this point? What do you mean? Don't make me say it out loud. You know what I mean. Lucy blushes more than before and takes a step back, unable to look me in the eyes. I think I'm close enough to shoot her, but I hold off on it when I notice her acting in a way that I've never seen before. I don't know what you mean. What are you talking about? You're inconsiderate, Sierra. Since that day at the restaurant, I haven't seen you. Would it have been so hard to, I don't know, come by and say hi? Because we didn't hang out over these past weeks? You're the one who wanted to focus on studying. But that doesn't mean that you could have come up, or that doesn't mean you couldn't have come up with an excuse. One day you sneak into my classroom to see me, and the next you forget about it. I don't know what to think. I've already told you that I didn't. Well, it doesn't matter. There's nothing to think. I can't believe we were discussing this in the first place. I put my finger on the trigger and I start to gently pull it. At least I was taking our relationship seriously, Sierra. My vision clouds. The always sarcastic voice of Lucy is sweet for once. Her tearful eyes take control of my body and it refuses to obey me. My gun shoots of its own volition. The small plastic ball diverts from its course, passing by one of Lucy's cheeks. Her face instantly breaks out into a wide grin. Oh no, an evil grin that no other human would be able to imitate. She disappears in the blink of an eye, and once again I'm disarmed. I fall to the floor, face up without any chance of escaping once she sits on top of my naked abdomen, putting pressure on me with the full weight of her body. I can hear the click of her rifle as it points directly at my chest, proving that Lucy won't make the same mistake twice, followed by her usual laugh that would drive anyone crazy. You're so naive, Sierra. You aren't the only one who could distract their enemies with words, nor the only one who was concealing another gun on them in case of an emergency. I guess you won't let me say my last words in this situation, will you? Lucy smiles. She clears away the hair covering her face with an arrogant gesture, and gives me a genuinely affectionate expression. I'm glad to see you again, Sierra. I close my eyes, grip my teeth, and clench my fists as I wait for the inevitable impact. But it's not a gunshot that I hear. Ding dong! The survival timer says it's up! Silence fills the room, neither of us able to process what we just heard. It's not the weird fact that Ziva imitated bell sounds, although that's stupid enough by itself. That time seemed to run out at the perfect moment. This is so lame. Ziva should have waited a few more seconds. What are we gonna do about it, Lucy? Now, if you don't mind, could you off of me and stop Ugh! Although time is up, I don't escape being shot point blank at the chest. It leaves me in a state of near death for a while. In the meantime, Lucy gets off me, disappointed. That's all! I hope you had fun! Now, all of you can come back to the field and give back all the equipment you were given. And also check the scores. See you later! Ziva's message through the loudspeaker is finished. Something odd catches my attention. She didn't mention my team among those that were eliminated. Are you absolutely sure you didn't shoot anyone? Maybe with a stray bullet? Impossible. I only had one bullet for the rest of last round, and I used it against you just a moment ago. Lucy and I look off to the side together, looking towards the cardboard sets at the end of the stage. We get closer and find a small hole in one of them. I see. So that explains why the door to this room was open. So that means that behind here, We take a look behind it, and on the floor, we find a guy with his hands on his forehead, trying to contain his pain. The bullet went through the cardboard and hit him directly. He was eliminated and also saved me in the process. I knew I had the cheat to shoot through walls turned on. I knew it! I don't know what you're talking about, but stop jumping and put your pants on, please. Oh man. Lucky shot. The sun is high in the sky. It's at zenith when we leave the building. Or at its zenith. Lots of volunteers are distributing drinks and attending to the audience. They seem to be even more diverse in age now. Probably because of the happy atmosphere. Lucy walks around enthusiastically, bringing me up to speed on everything that's happened to her these past few weeks, mostly tests and her future. I nod and give her short answers from time to time. Once we reach the field, she goes to look for Ziva. I'm pretty sure that Lucy is the one with the largest point score from the shooter survival competition. Then one of the volunteers comes over to me and offers me a bottle of water so cold that it's obvious she made sure not to take it out of the freezer until just now. Congratulations on surviving through that competition, Sierra, although it seemed to be luck more than anything. I see you're as direct and brutally honest as ever, Claire. Telling the truth is one of my strong points. Claire tilts her head and smiles, yet quickly flashes a sad expression across her face that I'm sure only I notice. It might have been thanks to Aussie and Deniz that I managed to get past the first 2 rounds, but I think I had too difficult a handicap in the 3rd round. I don't consider myself to be lucky in that regard. In any case, I think what Deniz did was unnecessary. We could have kept going together if things had been a bit different. Deniz? That guy isn't normal. He will never change. Claire seems to grow reluctant whenever his name comes up. She sighs, thinking about what she should say. Anyone else would have betrayed you in his position. The game was clearly begging for someone or something like that to happen. It was a spark meant to defy the predictable and boring. But that's exactly Deniz's problem. He's too kind. What would usually be a compliment sounds like harsh criticism from the way Claire puts it. You can't trust him, you know. He always says yes to everything, and he's so good-natured. What is he thinking? What makes him act the way that he does? He might seem like a perfect friend on first sight, someone you could keep close to you, but you can't trust someone like him. In a relationship between 2 people, no matter which type, there must be a balance where the 2 parties grow together. A relationship so unbalanced doesn't have any legs to stand on, even if the purity of his facade is real. No one would be able to live with the guilt of their mistakes being contrasted by his altruism. I remain perplexed as I listen to Claire, not because of her strong opinion of Deniz, but because this is the first time I've heard her criticize someone like this. I knew that something had happened between the 2 of them in the past, but I didn't think I'd hear her ranting about him behind his back. It's not behind his back. He knows perfectly well of my opinion of him. Were you reading my mind? I don't know why you're surprised. I've told you many times that you can't keep secrets from me. That's true. Or at least I believe her now. After all this time, Claire has always nailed it when it comes to me. But forget about that. They're just tales of the past. Now even if I try, I can't get angry about it. But no matter what happens, I'm happy because you're here today. So forget everything I've said, Sierra. Claire's pure, innocent smile reflects her authenticity. It leaves me thinking, and I realize that I'm always the one who asks her to open up to me. She's the one that talks about her feelings and opinions without restraint. There are still some times when it's frightening, but it's gotten more and more obvious that her words are always sincere. As a consequence, I feel like I should open up to her as well. Hey, Claire, there's something I want to... Indian! Have you seen Aussie? I've been looking for him everywhere, and he isn't answering when I whistle to him. Ziva walks up to me with Lucy in tow, inconsiderately interrupting Claire and I, even though she's more interested in playing with her phone than listening to me. Seriously, is today National Interrupt Sierran Day and I wasn't informed? I haven't seen him, nor do I care. Since when have you called him by whistling? Is he a dog now or what? No, a dog? I never treat him like that. Sorry, I meant your dog, not a dog. Then yes. Listen, Sierra, can you believe that in the end the prize goes to the MVP of the game, but only if they belong to the winning school? If I'd known that, then I wouldn't have killed off my teammates. All that effort was totally wasted if my school loses in the end. The MVP, and who decides who gets that title? Me, obviously. Nepotism in its purest form, I see. I'd complain, but I still don't know what the prize is. You really don't know? I thought you were stalling when you asked me during the competition. Not everything I say is a lie. Sometimes my intentions are honest. Mine are too, but I doubt you realize that. The tone of Lucy's last sentence is filled with annoyance. She lowers one of her arms to her hips and swings them back and forth. You're asking what the prize is, Indian? The prize is what you fought for, the motivations that brought you here, and what you want to show the world, and therefore to yourself. What happens today is a canvas on which to paint what you wish to become. It's the challenge that will decide your fate, and a great memory that we'll all share no matter what happens. But seriously? Jeez, you could have at least gone along with it a little. I want this event to be important and memorable. If you tell me that the prize is the power of friendship, I'll believe you. For real? No. I don't know why I even try. In any case, I'll tell you, it was really hard to procure, so you probably won't believe me what the prize is. The PA system suddenly activates and sets off an annoying sound that makes everyone around us raise their heads. By the way, I should mark National Interrupt Sierran Day down on a calendar so that I could kill myself before it happens again next year. What are you doing here? A familiar voice resounds the field. I look at Ziva, wondering if this was another one of her plans. From her face, I deduce that she knows as little as I do. I can't wait any longer, Aussie. A second female voice could be heard, although it's more distant than the first. Aussie, don't tell me he's in the control booth. What is he doing? Although Ziva prepared it so that she's able to use the PA system from the field, everything is connected to the control room. It's still possible to use the microphone to speak from there if you know which buttons to press. Or in this case, not to press, I fear. That Aussie, he must be the only person who can get lost in his own school after having attended it for so long. But who's with him? Think about what you're doing. I may technically be a graduate already, but you were my teacher not too long ago, even if it was only for a bit. Ziva and I look at each other with wide, shocked eyes. Oh god. It's the substitute teacher! Ziva has to explain it to Lucy and Claire since they aren't in our class. Everyone else, including the students that are standing around the field, appear to all be in complete disbelief. I can hear whispers all over the place. Aussie's infamy, especially when it comes to women, and his womanizing ways are pretty well known. Now I think I understand why this teacher would punish him longer than me. I've already told you that what happened on your first day here was was an act we came up with, a joke. I'd feel bad if you misunderstood. Holy cow, I didn't think you could do that with a bra. The temperature in here must be getting pretty hot, or so it seems. Shouldn't we intervene for the good of those we suspect are involved in the graduation? Record everything! If we're lucky, it'll go viral and it'll be in all of the local newspapers. Get your priorities straight, woman. What are you doing to my hero? Take your hands off of him. A third voice joins the fray, although I can't tell if it's a male or female one this time. Your name was Jade, that isn't Jennifer from before. I told you it was a misunderstanding. I don't care what you thought, Aussie. What I felt at that moment was real. We're destined to live for one another, and I can prove it to you. Hey! I don't play for that team. Cover that destiny of yours right now. Isn't the situation getting worse by the second? It must be a karma thing. We're watching the fruits of the life he had sowed until now come to fruition. Alright, the internet is going to explode when we upload this. I'll be able to live off this for the rest of my life. No way, you're going to make it worse. Why are you resisting, Aussie? Don't you think I'm attractive? Am I not good enough for you compared to all the other girls you've been with? It's complicated. I don't think this is the right time. Why can't you at least give me an answer, Aussie? What do you need to accept me? Nothing, but you need to put on clothes and fast. In a special situation like this one, I can't help but look around at all the laughing faces of the nearby people finding humor in Aussie's pretty messed up life. When individuals think, they always end up criticizing the mentality of the masses and the personalities of the sheep like they think they're different. But that's not true. Everyone has a moment in their life where they feel unattached from the masses because what goes through their mind is different from what they actually do in real life. Personality is what's created behind the sheep's skin. Everyone pretends to be the same as everyone else in order to join in on the always powerful group mentality. The first rule of survival is that, even on a social level, we all have to live through moments where we're forced into wearing that skin even if we don't want to. The moment someone decides to stand out when they become special, they're no different than the class clown who decides to take on a ridiculous facade to make everyone laugh. There's no problem in deciding to become a different person in reaching our ideals. Society doesn't reject those individuals. In fact, I dare say that they admire them. Who society rejects are liars. At least those who are caught with their hands in the cookie jar anyways. The way class clowns act, the line that divides when people are laughing with you or at you is thin. The class clown isn't always a clown though. It's the same as when one person acts differently in two situations. If their expectations aren't met, they will all repudiate you. If you decide to change yourself each day, you will be attacked. So the issue isn't having a personality, but keeping that personality consistent so that you can assuage the fears that a confused society feels, and as a consequence, we also feel. Maybe that's why excuses like parties and alcohol are just convenient ways to free ourselves from our inhibitions. Sorry, my mind is not working. Because if you have nothing... Stop right now! All those rumors about me are false, okay? It's just what people expect of me. But the truth is that I'm a virgin. The loudspeakers buzz again with another annoying noise. Anyone recording an aerial video of the school right now would surely believe that we're a flash mob where half of the members, instead of deciding to freeze up during the dance, it takes them a moment for them to react and start laughing. What kind of show did you put on this time, guys? I heard about you guys enacting all kinds of weird situations, but I didn't expect one to happen during graduation. I know, or I don't know when you planned this, Indian, but good job. Yeah, sure, good work, I guess. The perk of being a class clown is that if people get used to your jokes and lies, everyone will be expecting them from you. And in reality, people don't reject liars or those who stand out so long as that's what they have come to expect from them, even if it isn't intentional. Alright, that is all the time that I have for this episode, guys. So, if you liked it, hit that like button down below and don't forget to subscribe. I love you guys so much and I will see you next time. Bye!